Hello, welcome to Productions MJC. My name is Mark.
Well, back again. And today is, let's just start it off by telling you this is Flat Earth Lake Test. This is my idea. This is my concept. And I had developed that concept before purchasing this, but really after, because I started to look at different things. But yeah, I pulled the trigger. I've got a Nikon P900 Cool Pics. Some other neat features are going to come into play just a little bit. But I'm really excited. I've only owned a film camera, an X700 Minolta. So here we go. My lake right now isn't the best time to go take a peek at it. It's covered in ice. That's current temperature. Current, chance of showers. Doesn't look good. But the nice thing, this is going to come into play. I'll explain it as it goes. 5,911 and change, so let's call it 12. That will roughly be the elevation that I'll be at when I get there in the spring. So here we go. Bear Lake State Park straddles Utah-Idaho border. It's about an hour and a half away from me. Been there many times. Enjoy the place quite a bit. I never knew it had come into play for my globe versus flat earth theory, belief, proof, whatever. But here goes. And as I started to examine this place, the perfect spot for me is going to be where that black arrow is, and I'll show you why. It's a boat launch. I can easily triangulate how high I am off the water. I'm guessing about 6 meters, 20 feet, that area. And so my elevation is going to be about 5932 in feet. Now, as I look at this, let me explain to you. I am going to be right there, right where that black arrow is. That's where I plan to be. I've been to this place before. And the reason is it's very unique. It juts right out in the water. It's all off on its lonesome. And if you'll notice that 11.9 miles down at the bottom, going over to the resort at Harbor Village, that comes into play later too. But let me explain what's going on. My first target is going to be just a standard, prove the theory, triangulate, take a look. 4.5 miles away, roughly 7 1/3 kilometer. And what's there is a bunch of houses and their little boat marina, their little breakwater there, so that they can have a nice calm place to put their boats. Now, they dug that out and put all that up, and they've made that. So, that should be easy to see. There should be nothing hidden. And keep in mind, this is 4.5 miles. The Jeranism and some other flat earth predators that put out, wow, look at this 4-mile test. We didn't even see a curve. It's all fake. Why did they choose that distance? Look at the orange. Because none is hidden. Nothing. That's why they choose that distance. Why don't they go 8, 10 miles? Because then there's hidden stuff. Okay, I'm in America. I deal with miles. I'll try to convert to kilometer when I can. Now, here we go. That should be an easy test. It's basically right over there. But this is from the other side of the lake, 7 miles away. So, this lake, I love it. I thought of this. I thought of, as more I thought of, would this be a good place to do this test? This place is immaculate. Nice flat water. It is a little dangerous. See, when this is a high mountain lake, 5,900 and change. The highest water level is 5924. Historically, it got to 5923 and 3/4, I think. But the air is thin, very thin. People do this, and people have died because they have gotten out there and got exhausted. They come from the coast, and then they get out here and they do the paddleboarding and that, and they end up drowning because they get way far offshore and die because they think they can get it back and they can't. because the air is very thin. What has that got to do with it? Well, the old tired excuse, well, the air is too dense to see through. It's too thick. The air ain't thick up here, folks. It's thin stuff. So, number one obstacle overcome. A little piece of land juts out. It's about 9 miles, 14.5 kilometer away from my little viewpoint up there, as you can see. And so now it's going to get interesting. It's basically double the distance. Well, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to take a look. I ought to see these houses on a flat earth. I'm going to be 20 feet off the water. These houses are, up there. I ought to see them easy, right? I mean, it's just 9 miles. We've had people, flat earth advocates, say, hey, you can see a mountain 130 miles away. You can see this 90 miles away. That's 9 miles. I ought to be able to zoom in on that really pretty easy, right? Okay. Well, another thing. Remember when I said something else had come into play? The resort at Harbor Village? This is really going to be fun. Because if you look down at the bottom, there's a resort at Harbor Village. I'm going to zoom in on it in a minute, but see, it's roughly 12 miles. 19.5 kilometer maybe. But that's going to, see the orange? That's what I'm going to be looking at. What is that? Well, and notice the boats, of course, in the marina. And Bear Lake, sailboat heaven. Keep that in mind. That'll come in handy too. Here we go. You think that should be easy to see from my little vantage point poking out in the water? Yeah, this should be pretty visible, pretty noticeable. Should be an easy landmark spot. But best of all, see that line of sight from my little observation deck? Within the field of view of my camera, when I'm looking at the little lighthouse, there should be the marina right there. So if I see the lighthouse, below it should be the marina. On a flat earth, I should see the entire breakwater. Because remember, I'm 20 feet off the surface of the water. So I should see that whole breakwater wall. Yeah, that's a pretty big wall. It's not tiny. Look at the size of the guy down in the bottom. I mean, I should easily see the breakwater. I should see the masts of the sailboats. Remember I said sailboats come in to play? Well, Bear Lake has lots of sailboats. Beautiful placid water. There's even a storm coming in. And yet the water's pretty calm. Nice looking little marina. See, there's the other side of the lake. 7 miles of water, and, who knows how far to where this picture was taken. But there's the east shore. Again, lots of sailboat sticks. Well, there's the thing that flat earth folks never talk about. Tall ships. That was the whole argument. When they say, oh, the ship disappears over the horizon, but it's really not because you zoom back in and there it is. Plain as day. Okay. Try that with that one. Why do you think they put the crow's nest on top? Why do the people in the crow's nest, why are they able to see land before people on deck? Well, on a flat earth, they shouldn't. Shouldn't be any difference. But it happens in real life. Yeah, the talk about seeing the hull disappear, but the sails still visible, is with tall ships. And those are tall ships. Well, I've got some sailboats. I've got some landmarks. I can see some stuff. So there's kind of a back look at the marina. The picture was probably taken up on that hill, maybe from those houses, looking east. This is looking west. Nice, placid, mirror water. You see, this is going to be the death knell for somebody. These sailboats. because that is pretty placid water. That is pretty calm stuff. There's no huge troughs for people to claim, well, the boat's down in a trough. That's when you took the picture. Well, plus it'll be video and pictures, but that's my plan. Getting back to my landmarks, my targets, here's another one. There, Ideal Beach Resort. It's been there for, it's a timeshare thing. Thinking what? 40 years almost? I don't know. But there it is. 15 miles, roughly 24 kilometer. The water, that green spot up at the top, and then that rib, that's where the water is. But there's a direct line from my view. Flat Earth, those are buildings. That should be easy to spot. Those aren't just little bungalows. Those suckers, look at the size of the cars. 2-3-story buildings. This should be absolutely spot on, easy to see on a flat Earth. It's only 15 miles. They've got videos out there saying, hey, I can see 150 miles. And remember, that's at sea level, where the air is, quote unquote, very dense. Well, the air is not dense at 5,012 feet above sea level. We're going to have some fun with this. Well, but here's the coup de grace. And I never realized it until I started stretching this baby out and figuring things out. But about 20 3/4 mile, there's a special little spot. And it's right from there. It's almost due south. So here we go. Well, no, it's not this. This is a little gas station. Of course, it's got a tower in the weather vane. And, of course, on a flat Earth, I should see that just fine from my little vantage point, because it's only 19 3/4 mile. So what's a mile beyond that? Yeah, that's the special little spot. See, the orange points to the little tower. I should see that. There may be a tree in the way, so somebody's going to say, well, you can't see it because of the tree. Oh, okay. Okay, let's think of something else then. About a mile away, well, up and to the left of this place is the cemetery for Lake Town. But let's focus on that house on the hill. It's up on a hill, easily visible on a flat Earth, right? Okay. Let's take a good look at that house on the hill. I mean, it's pretty distinct with the chimney, with the fence, the front, the blue spruce trees. Up in the back there is the cemetery. And what's so significant about that? Here's the back view. I mean, you can see the lake in the background. There it is. This is, the flat earthers will say this is because of terrain, but there's the house. Okay? Now, the house is actually that little patch of land up there in the top. 20 3/4 mile, 20.9 miles away. There's the cemetery. What's significant is, in the United States, we plot the elevation above sea level of our cemeteries. This one sits at 6089. Now remember what the lake was? 5912, and then I'm going to be at 5932, right? What's the difference? Well, let's help you out with that. Here we go again. Remember, we're looking back this way. This isn't at the cemetery. This is down near the house level. Here we are. So here's the conversion. Here's what we're looking at. What'll be hidden, according to the calculator, 157.81 feet from where I'm at. From where I'm at 5932, there's going to be almost 158 feet hidden. Well, it just so happens that the Lake Town Cemetery, being at 6089, plus the hidden equals 6089.81. Look at that. That almost matches up perfectly, doesn't it? I know, that is freaking awesome. I mean, think about it. Think about what we're looking at. That is almost picture perfect. from my little vantage point, the curvature calculator is saying that I won't see any of those items. I won't even see that house because I will be seeing the cemetery, not really the cemetery, but maybe the headstones, some tall headstones. Zero. None of it will be visible on a curved earth, on a globe. But I should easily see that on a flat earth. There shouldn't be. I mean, it's 158 feet higher than I am. So I should easily see it on a flat earth. It should be bang, right there in front of my vision. Well, and back to some of the other landmarks I was talking about. Look at these babies. Okay, there's Rendezvous Beach. Okay, what is that? Well, that's this right here. So that's only, that's going to be easy. That Rendezvous Beach rental sign, boom, stick right out. There we are. Up in the left-hand corner is where I'm going to be, just looking straight at it. Flat Earth, I should be able to see that perfectly fine. So just like this place is closed, when I get out there and do these tests, or anybody else, somebody's going to beat me to it maybe. Who cares? Go ahead. You beat me to it. You take the credit. You do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not in it for the glory or anything else. I want to prove this to myself. I'm never going to make back any money on this. I'm not going to do anything except enjoy my photography hobby that I've enjoyed for 30 years. And I'm going to take some better pictures and be able to put them on disc and camera instead of just having them on film like I'm used to. So this is going to be a win for me no matter what I find out. It'll be a shock if I find out it's flat and I see everything. But if it does, I'll be back here to post the video. And that's the difference between me and the flat earth predators. I will. As mentioned before, an extra little secret, an extra little surprise. I was hoping for it, but I didn't really realize it. But yep, I opened it up, and that orange thing points to a doubler. So I hooked that up there to my camera. And what's the significance of a doubler? Well, it's a 2.2 doubler. So that means my 83 power camera all of a sudden becomes 182.6. Optical zoom. That's why I'm confident that if I sit on the north end of that, I better darn tootin' be able to zoom in on that house below the cemetery, on that sign on Rendezvous Beach, on the marina, on everything else I've chosen over the 4.5 mile mark. But especially the sailboats. Now, the people that I'm going to prove wrong, the globe earthers or the flat earthers, the people that I'm going to prove their idea of what reality is incorrect, are especially going to hate sailboats. Because if I can zoom in on just the sail, but I can't, no matter how hard I try, I can't zoom in on the hull after it's gotten out 6 miles or so away from me, which is only a third of the distance of the lake, and it actually happens to be about right where they'll come out of the marina. So if I see a bunch of sails coming out of the marina without hulls, boom, it's all over but the crying. So this is going to be pretty fun for me, and because I'm going to eliminate the dense air bullcrap that everybody's talking about. I'm going to eliminate the boat's down in a trough. This ain't the ocean. There's no troughs out there. And the air is not dense. It's so thin it actually sometimes inadvertently kills people because they get tired and they drown and they die. That's a high mountain lake. So I'm going to eliminate almost every excuse that I can think of. I can't think of an excuse that they can come up with if it proves the globe. So let's get back to, see, this, and this. I should, on a flat earth, be able to see that breakwater, not just the mast, not just all those sticks poking up. I should be able to see everything. Well, that's my plan. Somebody beats me to it, great. I don't care. But I think it's a great plan. And I never realized this little lake I've been going to for quite a few years, 30, 35, taking pictures and everything else. I never realized this lake was going to come in so handy. Well, all the other presentations where they take pictures and they do a 4-mile laser test. Why do they do 4 miles? Because nothing's hidden. They don't dare do it any farther because it would prove a globe Earth. They want to play it safe and just say, well, there's nothing there. They're just full of it. Well, please like and subscribe. Share the link to my video. Let's anticipate this test when I can get out there when there's some open water to deal with. But right now it's all frozen over. But that's my plan. I'm going to get my expedition together. I'm going to take a laser sight with me so that I can see how far I am off the water. And I am going to make sure that I spread the word, I keep the truth flowing, and I show you what reality is.
Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been Mark with Productions MJC.